Welcome back, everyone, to Sip and Spill. This is our weekly show where we invite you all to sit down with us, grab a drink, and talk all things life, love, pop culture. We are your hosts. I'm Anna.
And I'm Nikki.
And this week we have got another special guest with us. This is our very good friend, Liana. Liana, introduce yourself. Tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
I'm Liana. I'm from Staten Island, obviously. I've known you guys, how long has it been now?
Almost a decade, Lee. Almost a full decade.
Yeah.
Wow.
Liana and I got our start at the good old YMCA in Staten Island.
YMCA.
Best job I ever had.
Oh, honestly, me too. That was a time of very little stress in my life. So I agree with you there.
Was that wasn't your first job?
No.
Was that your first job?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
No, I was in Party City.
Oh, okay.
And then I
My
went to the
first job was at Moe's Southwest.
I remember that.
I was frying fucking tortilla chips,
Yep.
sweating. I was just like, I was making $6 an hour after taxes, okay?
Yeah.
That's why you make such good chicken fajitas.
Yes. I know all the secrets.
Yeah.
So the YMCA brought us here.
The YMCA, Liana was one of the first people to train me at the Y.
That just proves how self-sufficient you are, because I have the attention span of a squirrel. So, I don't know how much I could have possibly taught you.
No, you taught me many things throughout our time at the Y and beyond, way beyond.
Yes, way beyond. You've taught both of us a lot of great life lessons, and I'll forever be grateful.
Wow, I feel like Mother Teresa.
Yeah, you are.
You are. You're the Mother Teresa of our life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, Lee.
Thank you for having me.
We're excited to get into our topic of the week with you. But before that, we will let Nikki take us away with our cocktail of the week.
All right, guys. So this is a special cocktail for our special guest. If you know Liana, you know she loves her espresso martinis. We kind of took a shortcut here for our viewers. We just got our Kettle One. It's pre-made espresso martini. Really easy. You pour that up into your shaker, shake it, pour it over into your martini glass. To prep a martini glass, all you have to do is put some ice in, put some water, and it will get really frozen. I tried to do the TikTok trends that is going around where the ice forms. You just take your martini glass, put it in a bowl, and put the ice around it, and you're supposed to get this beautiful ice-coated martini glass. As soon as I popped this thing out, the ice went everywhere. So sorry to disappoint you today, but
Not a disappointment.
it is still frozen. We still have a nice frozen glass.
You get an A for effort, Nikki.
Still caffeinated.
And if anybody does want to not take the shortcut and make an espresso martini at home, it's really simple. Only 2 ounces of vodka, an ounce of coffee liqueur. We use Mr. Black over here, and at any bar that I work at, an ounce room temperature of your espresso, and then 3 coffee beans for that garnish. You have to have your 3 coffee beans. We don't have them here today, but that's okay.
It's all right. We work with what we got, and it's a new year. We're starting things off easy. So
Yes.
cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers to Liana joining us today.
Cheers to you guys. Wow.
And I like the way this gives a nice foam, this kettle. Because normally I have a little trick. The next time we make and we don't take a shortcut, I'll show you guys how you get this foam at the top. But it's already in here, so I love it. It looks great.
But I like how it has a nice caffeinated punch.
Yes.
Like it gives you
I get
that.
a little woo.
It gives you that nice wake up.
Yes.
No, it's
so
delicious.
Kettle One, you did not disappoint. For anybody that
Another
wants to
sip.
take a shortcut like us, go get that.
Yep. All right. Well, with that, let's get into our topic of the week. And since we've got Lee here, we are going to be talking about creating your own path in life. And, I think a lot of us often feel like we have to be on a very specific, rigid path from our career to when we get married to when we have children, all of these things. But
And I said this last episode, it is Staten Island.
It is.
It's where we came from. You just have to have this certain timeline. As one of my friends likes to call it the ladder. You have to climb up the ladder.
Right.
So you go to school, you go to high school, you go to college. After college, you get married, you pop out babies, and you live, quote unquote, happily ever after. Is that the way? Is that what we should be following?
But see, I don't feel like it's just Staten Island, because I feel like a lot of people in Staten Island, they never got past high school.
True.
Like
That's also true.
Like they're still stuck in things that happened 10, 11, whatever years ago, and they haven't gotten over that mountain. Like that's their focal point. I feel like society nowadays, it implants almost this thing in our minds that, oh, life ends once you hit 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or if you're not, engaged, married by 28, it's not happening for you.
Right.
Realistically, when we're all 15, 28 seems so far away. And granted, I'm guilty. When I'm 15 years old, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm sure I'll have my life together by 28 and have a family. I'll be 28 this year.
Yeah. I always said I would have kids when I'll get married when I'm 28, kids by 30.
You are going to laugh at this one. I used to swear on my life, and my friend Daniela can attest to this, because I would tell her this time again. When we were in high school, I used to swear on my life that by 18 I would have been moved out of my house and have my own apartment. 18 years old. Yeah. Who did I think I was? That at 18 years old I was going to go get my own apartment, I was going to have my own space, and everything was going to be great. With what money? Not my YMCA money, that's for sure. So it's definitely, we really think that we are going to achieve these milestones a lot sooner than we do sometimes, but that's okay.
But we lose focus of the other milestones in life, like having a career, being financially independent. Like Nicole just got her own place this year, moved out, got a mortgage at how old?
26.
26 years old, when Joe Schmo's living in the basement of his mom's house, not looking to make any moves, claiming local 3 salary.
Yep. Yeah. It's true.
It's true. Like, there's so many other things that make somebody successful and are such great milestones, but the way society is, it's like it's set up to where it's easier to be an enemy of yourself than to pick yourself up. If we all put enough time to think positive and focus on the things that we do have, we wouldn't put so much energy into the things that we don't.
Yeah.
Because realistically, none of us have a crystal ball.
Right.
Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Who are we to say we're going to know what happens within the next 5 years? And if you put that bad energy out there, you're going to still have that black cloud over your head.
Yeah. Crazy to think, but yeah, a year ago, I was super, super miserable. I was in a relationship that I knew was not going in the direction that I wanted it to go. I just knew in my heart that I wanted to buy my own place, figure out, do some soul searching, and I am the happiest I've ever been. And I think that's extremely important. Again, I think coming from Staten Island, it's always that you have to get married to buy a house and then you move in with that person. But no, you don't have to. You could do anything that you want to do.
No, 100%. And I think also, I don't know, I'm not going to say it's just women. I'm sure it's like a
both parties.
Both parties. Yeah. Thank you. Type of thing where, as people in general, we have this great thing. We're allowed to feel. We're allowed to feel emotions. We're allowed to go through things. And I think each whatever talking stage that you go through with somebody, relationship, whether it doesn't go anywhere, it's still a learning experience. Like, that person had to come into your life for a reason, so you could find out this part about yourself. And just because if you go through a situation that doesn't work out well, you shouldn't remain closed off, because allowing us to be vulnerable and allowing us to feel, that's how we truly enjoy life.
Oh my God, I'll never forget. I called Anna when we broke up, and I was hysterical. I couldn't even catch my breath. I can't imagine how you felt hearing me, but I was like, I'm never gonna find anyone again. I'm never gonna be happy. And it was like I never felt so low after that, because like I knew in my heart that's what I wanted. But then after I actually ripped the Band-Aid off, I was like, holy fuck, I gotta get him back. Like I can't, how am I gonna do this? And again, I think if I wanted to get married, I could have gotten married to him. Like there was no like, I just, like, my parents kept telling me he's so great, but like something inside was missing for me, and I think that was myself. I lost myself.
And somebody can be a great person, but it is okay if they are not great for you.
Right.
If they don't
he was a great person.
Yeah. If they don't check those boxes for you, and vice versa, if someone feels like you don't check those boxes from them, better to just throw it out on the table. Right. Call it what it is, and you don't waste each other's time, because time is so precious. And just from being in the healthcare world.
Yes, Liana is a nurse.
Thank you, I love my job. 1 minute, something could be one way, and the next minute, boom.
Right.
And if you're unsure about a situation, that's your intuition. That's your intuition telling you, like, hey, like, this is not working. And why are you going to put yourself in a situation just because, on Instagram there's 100 couples that look so happy?
Right.
Yeah.
Which we talk about all the time.
Social media is a lie.
It is.
It's a lie.
Yeah.
A lie. Nothing is perfect. It's when you want to work together as a team to fight through the imperfections.
Right.
But no one's ever going to show that.
Right. Exactly.
That doesn't get the likes or the...
That doesn't make you famous on Instagram and all of that, the real stuff. But that's the important stuff.
Exactly. I think the only... If you want to talk about fantasy world, because listen, like, I'll admit, I'm a lover girl.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I love...
We all want romance in our lives.
Not even just that, but I love the rom-coms.
Oh, yeah,
I love The Notebook.
Yeah.
I think The Notebook is probably the only realistic but unrealistic, because there was
I could
fighting.
recite that movie.
Me too. Me fucking too.
I love The Notebook.
I love The Notebook. I love how
And if you've ever dated me, I force you to watch The Notebook.
Yeah. I love,
maybe take some notes.
I love how he fought for her. And, like, it showed how they weren't perfect at all.
Noah admitted that they are going to fight. You are going to fight.
Yes.
My exes, every fucking time there was a little argument that I was a little upset about something.
Yeah.
They get all bent out of shape.
Yeah. I think that's men in general
How could couples not fight?
I think that's men in general.
How could you not have a disagreement with somebody?
It's true. For some reason, men don't want to have those tough conversations, and they don't want to talk about feelings. And I mean, that's nothing new. We've been hearing about this and dealing with this for years and years now. But it's sometimes what you have to do to get through it. Like you said, get through the hard times.
Listen, there was the generation of men that were writing letters with the trench foot in World War II.
The ones who went to war.
Now they're standing on top of bars and screaming Pink Pony Club at the top of their lungs.
Or not even that. Like, I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea. There's men that, wrote on a little piece of paper, in the woods. I don't know if it's a generational thing, but I'm sure it could also be both parties things. I always say my running joke is, if I was born in 1955, I would have been a Nona by now with 6 grandkids living my best life.
Yeah.
I'm sure you both could attest that.
Sure.
I am the grandma of the group.
You are.
I have an old soul. I like my old music. I don't listen to the rap music that you listen to.
She hates my music.
Listen, Dion and the Belmonts and country.
Yeah.
There's no trippy. What's it called?
Trippy Red?
Oh, that's a name?
I don't know.
She's old-fashioned. Liana just loves the old-fashioned, classic things. If Liana could have been born in 1920s New York City, she'd be there.
Listen, if I could live in Tuscany and grow olives and make olive oil, I would. That's
actually a better fancy than I had, so I agree with you.
I would, and walk through the fields.
Love that. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. There's a lot of pressure out there, especially as you get older and
is.
your friends start to make milestones like getting married and having
I always
kids.
say, always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Oh my god, I never understood the meaning of 27 dresses until this past year with that.
Yeah.
This is a reality for some of us, unfortunately.
It is.
That, you know, again, it's a lot of people our age are reaching these milestones.
But it's okay that if you're not there yet, because that doesn't mean just because
Yes.
so and so is doing this, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen for you. We don't know when, but that's because we're supposed to be enjoying life
Correct.
and not focusing on when is it going to happen. Focus on what's happening right now.
Yep.
Like focusing on the things that you can do for yourself that maybe somebody else can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, I love just going on Expedia and booking a plane ticket.
Yeah.
That and I've mentioned this before, the carrot on the stick. That is my carrot on the stick. So when you have a donkey and you're trying to get it to come to you, you get the carrot on the stick. That is mine. Booking a trip, it keeps me motivated, it keeps me focused, it keeps me in the gym. I need
Not
that.
even that, but just having the financial ability to just say, hey, I'm going to go here
Yes.
for this many days, cruise in, and just enjoying that moment and just being able to do that and not have to answer to anybody or depend on anybody
Yeah.
for that. That's a win.
Or
That's
have
actually-
people depend on you,
That's-
because once you have kids, that
Yes.
goes out the window too.
Yeah, which I'm sure like everyone that happened, like everyone's timeline works out for them,
Yes.
and like, but I love being able to do that. Like, I love spontaneous things. I love. Remember when I texted you and I was like, "We want to go to the Sopranos house."
Liana, please, when I used to live on Staten Island, every week Liana was texting me to go somewhere random. One day it was to go to the Sopranos house, so we did that. Another week it was to go to the Brooklyn Bridge, so we did that.
Yeah, listen. Sometimes we forget the beautiful world. Like, and how
Yeah.
great was that?
It was. Both were great trips.
When Sopranos house, we went to the wrong house.
We went to the wrong house.
Oh my.
Got ice cream, turned around.
We
and
literally took pictures in front of the wrong house. Got ice cream. Liana is Googling it and realizing, we went to the wrong one. We gotta
In
go
my
back.
defense, I love the Sopranos, Ride or Die Forever, and they look exactly the same.
Yes. Very nice.
They look
Houses are beautiful.
Listen, I was a nursing major. I wasn't a major in architectural design.
It's okay. We went back and we got the right
Yes.
pictures.
But to your point, I also want to mention that, as you said, like, you don't have to answer to anybody. It's the same thing as if you were with a significant other. For me, only for me, because this obviously doesn't go for Anna. But if I was with somebody, I would not be on this running journey that we keep mentioning. Like, I would not force myself to be better, because it's just like, you know, you get stuck in that like comfort zone that it's just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I don't have to do this, or you don't think about things that you can do to level up when you are comfortable.
But here's my thing, and I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
If you are saying that if you were in a relationship and you wouldn't be on your running journey and still doing things for yourself, then you are in the wrong relationship.
Right. True.
Because that should be a first indicator.
I want somebody to run with me.
You want
Yeah,
someone to
of
always. A relationship is essentially supposed to be. You're supposed to be two team players. You're supposed to be fighting, like always wanting to learn the best parts of each other, learning the worst parts of each other. But at the end of the day, you're a team. You're not out to want to get each
And
other.
every one of my exes were very competitive. Like, nothing is a competition.
Right.
I will never forget. I went to the gym with one of my exes. And this was the first time we ever went to the gym together. This motherfucker took every fucking plate in the gym that he could and put it on the leg press. Every single, it was like, had to be like 1,000 pounds on this leg press. And he's pushing. All of a sudden, I didn't even get to touch one machine. This man turns white and says, we gotta go. He's taking smelling salts as he's adding on these plates. And I'm just like, what the fuck was that?
He's lucky he didn't break a freaking leg doing something stupid like
somebody
that.
that-
Why?
Right, that's somebody
he
that
did
has
it to
no
have to show off.
Yeah, that's somebody that has no self-esteem. And like, if you're trying to be competitive with your significant other, then you should
There's
not
no
be,
point for it to be in a relationship.
You shouldn't be in a relationship.
Because I'm in competition with myself always, and I don't need somebody else trying to compete with me.
And I feel like that's a lot of the times that's what gets lost in certain things, and that's like a clear indicator. Like, if you're not willing to be on the same team with me, like if you're not willing to be better for each other, then there's no point in continuing.
And there's a difference between someone who's going to challenge you to be that better version of yourself.
To just challenge you.
Right. Then to be like, I'm better than you at this, and you can't tell me otherwise, and I'm going to show you, and all this nonsense that men do.
I would have stuck out my leg so he would trip me.
Listen, there's a lot of things I could have done. I think I look back at all my relationships. I'm like, why didn't I just fucking do this? Why didn't I just fucking do that? But I think I would not be here in this position that I am today. And I am forever blessed, forever grateful. There's been some challenging times that I've gone through, and I came out stronger than ever. And I, like I said, I can genuinely say I am super duper happy with this life I created. And to go off of that, let's talk about how you create your own timeline. What are some tips and tricks of how you can maybe put your blinders on, get away from the societal norms, and focus on your own timeline?
For me personally, like in high school, the age where probably like around 15, when everyone's talking about what they want to do with the rest of their lives, I had no idea. I had no idea. I feel
like for somebody that like is in a big occupation, like a nurse or a doctor, they know from when they're a baby.
I had no idea. I wasn't good in science. I was terrible. I wasn't good in math. And, you know, unfortunately for me, there was a really negative experience when my brother got sick when I was 16 with cancer. There's one nurse, her name was Jodie Foster, coincidentally at Sloan Kettering, that took care of my brother, and she was the first one to explain to me what a CBC was, what an electrolyte was. And that day in the hospital, I was asking her questions, and I looked at my mom and I was like, you know, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do.
Wow.
Because it was just the way she took care of my brother. I always knew I wanted to help, but I didn't know what. And that's how nursing came into my lap. And I remember I had a tutor, and she was like, well, Liana, you're not really that good in science. Maybe you should do something else. And I was like, no. In my mind, I was like, fuck you. I don't care what you say. And, you know, nursing school wasn't the easiest thing at all. Thank God I had Victoria, who was a year older than me in the program. She really helped me and was my mentor. Still is my mentor to this day. And that's what kind of got me to that point of career timeline. But as far as making your own timeline, I do things that make me happy, because that's what makes my timeline my timeline.
I love that.
Me too.
Like, I do things, like, for me personally, as simple as it is, everyone knows I love caffeine.
Yes. As exhibited by our cocktails today.
I love caffeine. If my time, my day revolves around my coffee. That makes me happy.
Anytime I call Liana, she's at Starbucks. she's placing her Starbucks order every fucking time.
One time I said to Liana, I'm like, Lee, how can you drink coffee at like, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Why are you sipping on coffee? It does nothing for me. It does nothing for me.
No, I'd be bouncing the walls.
No,
Oh
it
my
doesn't,
God,
because I'll still knock out like 9 p.m. like a grandma. But as far as that, like, looking forward to those moments is that, like, going to bed and thinking about your morning coffee. Like, listen,
That's a carrot on a stick.
That might not be for everybody. Some people might be like, what the fuck is wrong
When
with
I get a new crema, I'm like, I'm ready to wake up in the morning.
I love it. But see, that's what makes me happy. Like, I make sure, like, after a long week of work, like, on a Saturday, if I want to go to my nails done, or if I want to go to Sephora and get a lip product, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Someone told me once, like, when you go like shopping, because like I would always be worried about spending money, coincidentally, and this person told me, like, when you go shopping, if it makes you smile and like
do it,
buy it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Like, buy it.
I'd be smiling a lot and holding it.
And also set places that you want to go and just go.
Right.
Like, don't think twice about it. Like, if
That's
you need
another thing. Moving here, obviously, like, you have to do pretty much isolated out here. In terms of like location, it feels like. So I feel like I have to do a lot of things on my own. Like when I was living at home, it was so easy to like go food shopping with my mom. We would go at the same time together, or we would run to Home Goods or TJ Maxx, or like do things together. So I feel like now making these like solo trips, it was hard, but I noticed like every time I do like step out of my comfort zone and drag myself out of the house, I always encounter like either beautiful things, beautiful sights, or beautiful people that like just will strum up a conversation. And it's like, wow, that was really nice to talk to that person. Like just this morning I went and got my oil changed, and the guy in there was talking to me. He was waiting to get his oil changed, and like we were talking about just random shit, and it was just like really nice to you know, have those conversations, and you know, you realize like you're really not alone. Like there are people around you. You just gotta get out there.
Right. Because thinking is not what sets us into a panic. It's our thoughts. And it depends on how you retrain your brain to think. Like it's so easy for us to be an enemy against ourselves, and like, you know, I'm guilty of this too. You look in the mirror and and it's so easy for us to point out 25 things we'd rather change, rather than focus on 25 things that we actually like, or 25 things that we don't have. Or when you go on social media and you say 10 people from high school getting engaged, it's like, oh, why didn't this happen for me yet?
Right.
Like that shouldn't be our first thought that comes to our head. Okay, like that's great, she's engaged, so and so. But then your mind should think about, oh, well, she's engaged, and oh, I have this trip coming up.
Yep. Great for her, but I'm going to the Bahamas. So I win. It's not about winning.
No, exactly.
It's about winning. No.
No, but there's just so many things. Like life is such a great thing, and it's such a blessing to be alive and to enjoy simple things. As far as listen, even waking up and bitching that you have to go to work, in hindsight, there's a blessing. Because think about someone going through a detrimental illness such as cancer, and they're not even able to, they wish they could complain about going to work.
Think about these poor people in California right now
God,
who are losing their homes.
Memories.
And some of them, unfortunately, their lives to these horrible wildfires. And
that is just
it gives me such a pit in my stomach to think about these people. But it's, you know, we can help as much as we can from here and donate
and send like Venmo. A lot of people having Venmo set up.
I think on one of our beginning episodes, I mentioned John Kim, the one who was the author of Single on Purpose, and unfortunately he lost his home.
Oh my gosh.
So he posted something, and actually this has to do with timelines. Let me see if I could grab. So he posted something on Instagram, but yeah, unfortunately he did lose his entire home, but he does have a GoFundMe in his Instagram bio, but I just want to read this to you guys. His Instagram is The Angry Therapist. So this is something that he posted. It said, I went back to school and he talks about this in his book. I went back to school at 35. I did a squat for the first time in my life at 36. I became a licensed therapist at 42. I published my first book at 43, having a baby at 46. Toss your timelines, keep leaning forward. And he posted on top of that, lost house, starting over at 51. So he added to all of that, which is crazy, but somebody commented something really nice, which I thought of. It says, what if this isn't a start over, but a continuation of resilience, strength, and perseverance? That is you and the story of your life.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And that's a great way to look at
again, you think, even as stupid as it sounds, like relationships or little things, even little things that happen, you're like, oh my God, this is the end. Like, how am I ever gonna like make it out of this? And you do, and time again, you do. You lean on people, and you come out of it.
Yep.
No, 100%. Because listen, although things such as heartbreak, grief, loss, it's a terrible feeling in that like pit in your stomach that you would do anything to get rid of, it's such an important part to remember there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And one of my favorite things to tell people, and like a tsunami doesn't last forever.
Yep.
When it comes in hard, and you feel like you're drowning and you're never going to come up on top. But eventually, beautiful flowers grow from that disaster.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's very true.
The key is to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got my bracelet, my Little Words Project bracelet.
Oh, I love
Keep
those,
going.
yeah.
Yes.
I bought this the day me and Nikki did our first 4-miler race, and I got it, because I obviously wanted to keep up with the running and the racing, and it was something.
There's so many times during our races where I'm like, you don't have to do this.
Yep.
You could just pull over. You could just stop right now.
Yeah.
No one will know. And it's like,
And I just look at
You
this and
have
I
to
say,
keep
keep
going.
going. And
You have to.
look at it.
And we always
every day.
finish.
Yeah, we do. We do. We always finish. And that's the mindset I try to have
Always come
every
out on
day
top.
is, life gets hard, work gets stressful. There's going to be hurdles and roadblocks, but you got to keep going. You got to push through it, get to the next day, and then the day after that. And before you know it, you will start to feel better and back to your old self.
Next race, I'll be on the sidelines with my
Please.
espresso martini.
Please come.
Cheers.
Everyone's invited
yes.
to our next race.
So when I first moved here to Highlands and I made this big jump, Liana gave me, it was the most awful thing, a stack of self-help books. So I want to talk about this because you are the queen of self-help books.
Yes, I love them. I feel like sometimes when you're reading something out loud, whether it be like you're overthinking, stop it, and you read it out loud and it's just like, wow, that like I need to do that. Sometimes it's different than just speaking to somebody. This is actually one of my favorite ones that I gave you. 1,000 Little Habits of Happy, Successful Relationships. And it just kind of really talks about things that I feel women go through, whether it be fighting society norms or as simple as Instagram. Like there's one great chapter in this book where she talks about how she used to always overthink about what picture she posted. And I feel like a lot of us
I do that. And then it starts looking wonky, like one eye's up here, one eye's down here, and I'm like, I can't post this.
No, and the more we look at it, the more we hate it. But there was I forgot what chapter, but she talks about how she just took it. She didn't rotate it, edit the brightness or anything. She just posted it, and she got like the most amazing compliments on it. And she was like, wow. Because in reality, we are the enemies to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We're our own worst enemies.
I also want to mention, I think it's beautiful when like I am not feeling as confident and as beautiful. And then like I'll go and run to the store and somebody will be like, you look so beautiful today. And I'm like, I'm like, what? Like I literally say, what? So it is nice, and it does, like, I think as much as you can, and I repeat that 10 times over to other people. I'm like, wow, like I love your hair, or
But that goes also back to and listen, another topic. I'm very passionate about mental health. Always has been ever since you guys know me. I always say, be a decent human being.
Yep.
Why would you be a motherfucker to anybody?
Yeah.
there's a lot of motherfuckers out there.
There is. It takes 2 seconds to be decent to somebody.
Right. Be a decent human being.
Be a decent
please.
human being. You don't know what somebody's going through.
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
You don't know what people are going through.
That's true.
The happiest person could be fighting the worst depression, and because you decided to be an asshole, why would you put any energy that could mentally push that somebody over the edge?
Yep.
I just feel and my favorite quote, have courage and be kind. How I live my life, I lead with kindness.
Yeah.
Because why am I going to put my energy to being evil?
It's true.
Like, what is the point of being a jackass?
But those evil people are just miserable inside,
Right.
and they have to just
Take it out on people.
yeah.
By you saying to a random person, like, oh, hey, like, I like your glasses, that compliment, you don't know, could have saved their life.
Yeah.
We don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
It's true. It's true. And let that serve as your reminder to be kind to someone after you listen to this, Treat people how you would want to be treated. I mean, we're taught that from elementary school, even before that by our parents.
Yeah.
Treat people how you would want to be treated.
Yeah.
We've lost that in this world, and we
Yeah.
need to get it back.
I'm in this running group on Facebook, and it's like just for the love of runners. And some people will post like their runs for the day, and this like beautiful woman that had to be like our mom's age. She was so fit, and she had like, I think like a tank on, and she was showing off her muscles, and it was snowing, and everybody was like, oh, like commenting such mean and disgusting things about this woman, like, oh, you need some attention, are you looking for attention today? And
My
I'm just
God.
like, I literally commented, you look amazing, and I'm so glad you posted this, because I myself would have bitched about the snow. And she was just embracing, she was like, hey, it's a beautiful day, like get out there, do your run. And all of these people commented horrific things to her.
Because
terrible.
it's so easy for somebody to be a keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I thought this woman was beautiful. I was like, holy fuck, I want to be you when I get older. And why would anybody want to comment something so negative
Right.
towards this beautiful woman? Just posting about her run. Grow the
Terrible.
fuck up.
Terrible.
All right, so I have a little game for us to play.
All right.
It's a trivia game, and it has to do with timelines. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and then you guys can discuss amongst yourselves, the two of you, and then give me an answer.
All right.
And then if you get it wrong, take a sip.
All right. It sounds like a good game.
All right, so our first one. Question. This tech genius didn't create his first groundbreaking product, the iPhone, until he was in his 50s. Who is he?
Steve Jobs.
Okay.
That's easy.
2. This Hollywood star didn't get married until 50 and is known for her empowering roles in Erin Brockovich.
Julia Roberts.
Good job, Lee. 3. This actor worked as a carpenter and almost quit acting before landing his iconic role in Han Solo in Star Wars. Who is he?
The old guy. What's his
The
name?
old guy. Oh, what's his name?
He was.
Car. Think car.
He dated Princess Leia
Make of a car.
and the make of a car.
I know, it's like on the tip of my tongue, but I'm not a Star Wars fan.
Henry Ford.
Harrison
Oh,
Ford.
yeah.
Harrison Ford.
There you go, Lee.
You guys got it. All right, 4. This tennis champion won the Australian Open in 2017 while pregnant, proving you can break barriers at any stage of life. Who is she?
Serena Williams.
Yes.
Hey, there we go.
All right, 5. This civil rights icon was 26 years old when he led the Montgomery bus boycott, proving age does not define impact. Who is he?
Martin Luther King Jr.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. 6. This actor, known for his role in The Office, didn't start acting until his late 30s after initially pursuing stand-up comedy.
You
Who is
watched
he?
The Office.
Steve Carell.
Okay.
Steve Carell.
There you go.
All right, guys, that was a good, quick
That was
game.
fun.
But yeah, I mean, that just shows that there is no timeline.
No.
There is no
isn't.
timeline.
Enjoy your life.
When it's right for you, it's right.
It's just gonna happen. We have no crystal ball.
That's right. Well, love that combo. I love that we're all of the mindset that life is flexible and we're all on our own paths. We're all creating our own paths. We are talking now about possibly the end of something's path that at least I love, and that's TikTok.
Oh
TikTok
my
may
God.
be going away, and I don't know what
It
to do.
should have went away a long time ago.
Nikki and I have very different opinions on this. Nikki does not like TikTok as much as I like TikTok.
Listen.
But I don't think it's that you don't like TikTok. It's just, again, it's social media.
is the ruination, and my mom says this all the time. Social media is the ruination of the world.
Yes.
When it comes to dating, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to, I sit on public transportation and everybody's in their phones.
Yeah.
Take a look around you, pick your head up,
Yep.
and notice, converse with people.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, I mean, if you think about, if you want to kill an hour really fast, go on TikTok.
Yeah, that's true.
I understand. Yeah. So, social media.
And how many
yeah.
people are making all of this money off of TikTok videos? And kudos.
Yes.
But one video will blow up. And then all of a sudden, they're just raking in all of this money. And somebody did post, they were like, And again, like, it is what it is. But they were just saying, like, every TikTok video that you post is a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
It's a ticket in the lottery because one video will blow up, very demure, blew up.
Now we never hear the demure.
Right.
But that person is making a lot of fucking money with all these partnerships. You look up the TikTok right now. I mean, they're doing really well.
I think for a lot of these people, TikTok is a vehicle. Like, to your point, they're going to make a video until they go viral. And we all know that TikTok really decides who goes viral and who doesn't.
Oh, exactly. There's always somebody sitting behind a computer.
Yeah. And then they use that
Our videos never go viral. I'm saying that now.
Our listeners could change that at the Sip and Spill on TikTok and Instagram. Please go follow, go like. But, you know, they use that as a vehicle to get the brand partnerships and the advertising deals and all of these things. So
now, do I get my stuff on TikTok Shop? Because there's so many great things on TikTok Shop.
I am advising everyone, do not buy anything on TikTok Shop until after January 19th when we know if TikTok will be here or not, because don't waste your money on things that you might not get. I love TikTok Shop.
Got the viral makeup brushes. It comes in that beautiful, I'm not even a makeup person, but I'm the schmuck that will buy it.
I need instant gratification. I need that shit to come the next day.
Well, that's the thing. Is,
oh my God, yes.
TikTok Shop does take like a week.
Cheers to Amazon.
Cheers to Amazon.
That's another fucking scam.
Yeah. But we all love it.
Fun fact, I tried to be an Amazon seller for a couple months.
I remember this.
It was fun. I mean, you learn the ins and outs. I was a business major, so I just wanted to try something.
Yeah.
I saw how much money, I mean, every time you go on YouTube, you're like, hey, do you want to make passive income? And I'm like, yes, I do. So I followed all the steps. I did it. I made income, but they take out so many fees.
Yeah.
So unless you're actually manufacturing the product yourself, you're not making any money. So unless the cost of goods for you is like 5 cents, you're not making any money.
It's like Etsy.
Yep, same thing. Same thing.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a business like anything else. You have to try and promote it. You have to spend the time and the effort getting the products, packaging them up, and
so maybe I'm just mad because I work really fucking hard for my money.
I mean, listen, it's hard to make
people get one TikTok video to go viral.
Yeah, listen, my favorite movie, The Bronx Tale, the working man is always the sucker.
Yeah. Here we are, all sitting here at this table.
Yeah.
The table of suckers.
Yeah, going back.
Working the 9 to 5.
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
Just trying to make it in this world.
Back to work on Monday.
Yep. But, you know, I think whatever your opinion is,
I mean, it did teach me a lot. Like, funny story, I had a steak. I was just like craving steak and I had it frozen in my freezer. And I was like, how the fuck am I going to cook this? It's not even thought out. I go on TikTok. This guy showed me in a 2-minute video.
Wow.
Good steak. Anything that I need, any tutorial, anything that I have like questions on, TikTok.
Well, that's the thing, is it has its positives like
because
that.
Because YouTube, you go and you got to skip and to get to the actual point.
Get rid of the ads.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So. I mean, you can learn a lot on TikTok. You can discover new things on TikTok. My mother discovered her new favorite thing in this world, and that is Turkish television shows on TikTok.
Oh my God,
no way.
She
loves the Turkish show.
I walk downstairs and she'll tell me to be quiet.
Does she know
she's
Jen?
watching her Turkish.
You have to ask her.
And she even now she has it hooked up. You could get it on the Fire Stick.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
She's watched and she'll rewatch the old episodes.
Yeah, no, my mom she discovered these Turkish soap operas basically
It's like the
through
Turkish
TikTok.
version of telenovela.
Yeah. And
I used to have to watch the telenovelas in Spanish class.
Oh my gosh. Imagine having to watch a Turkish one.
But I really enjoyed them, but they were very dramatic.
Yeah, well, that's these two. They're incredibly dramatic. And she, you know, now through TikTok found full episodes on YouTube, and she's binging these series, and she's like in love with these actors. And it's, you know, but she wouldn't have known about it if she wasn't on TikTok. And so, you know, it's got its pros and its cons. But I agree with you on those cons. Like, it can be a time suck. It can take up so much of your life, just scrolling and losing your mind
and then
in these
comparing,
things.
because I watched one video about Botox and all of a sudden my whole timeline is Botox. I'm like,
Right.
holy fuck, I really need Botox.
Right. The algorithm is just insane with those kinds of things.
I love Botox.
Well, I
wrong with
did use TikTok to find Botox alternatives. So I did find some things to help. But I think down the road, very soon, sooner rather than later, I'm going with you.
Yes, I'm due for it soon.
Yeah. So, but again, I think, you see what everybody else is doing and you're like, oh, fuck, do I really need to do that right now?
Listen.
Right. Same thing. It goes as little as getting Botox to as big as getting engaged.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
You always feel like there's something more you should be doing.
Right. Right.
Or something you should have changed in your life.
And that's because people who post about these things on TikTok are spending their lives filming every little moment, editing every little moment, thinking of the captions, thinking of the times to post. And granted, I do that too with, TikToks for the podcast or my own TikToks that I'm trying to make now. And it's time consuming.
It is.
It's time
It is.
consuming.
And I would just feel like I would rather just live in the moment than have to
Right.
be on my phone to record these things and then edit them. And to your point earlier, thinking about making an Instagram post, that stresses me out. Every time we post for the pod, I'm like, holy fuck, what's gonna happen? What's everybody gonna say? What do we look like? What do we...
Honestly, and I've also learned, no matter what you do, you keep your
Somebody's
circle.
always gonna say something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point of having your people in your corner. Because realistically, no matter what you do, there's always going to be someone that, even if not to your face, they always got some crap to say.
Yeah.
And let them talk.
Yep.
Let them.
Let them.
The let them theory.
Well, we will see. Actually, by our next episode, we'll know if TikTok is no more and what the...
I wish there was a voting system.
Yeah.
I'd vote.
Nikki would be the first one in line. But we will see what comes next, because as we know, there's always going to be another popular app coming out. So if not TikTok, something else will be out there for us. But I think with that, we'll wrap it up here. Liana,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining us
thank
this
you.
week. We
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed having you. This was a great discussion.
Thank you. Love it.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Let's go eat.
Let's go eat. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, please comment, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, give us some ratings, throw some comments down there. Come back, listen to us every week. And please follow us on social media. We are at the Sip and Spill Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and possibly somewhere else in the future. We will let you know. That is at the Sip and Like Nikki Spill Podcast. Follow us, keep up with our content, and be sure to tune in for next week's episode. Cheers to that, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.